When 7 Days to Die updated from Alpha 17 to Alpha 18, we lost something special. On that cold Melbourne morning when Steam kicked into gear and downloaded the new update, I lost something very important to me. And when I booted up 7 Days that first time, I realized that the simple, the elegant, the luxuriously refined barbed wire was no more. We were confused, we were scared, we held each other and wept as we realized that something that's been by our side through this entire zombie apocalypse was no longer there. It wasn't just a special block, it was a friend, it was our partner against the undead. And now it was gone. The developers laughed and jeered and ironically wished us good luck to try and overcome the pain.
JaWoodle will find a way in 18. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
I tell ya, the Horde nights are much longer, much colder, and incredibly lonely now that my spiky metallic friend is not by my side. But now, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, the barbed wire is back! G'day guys, my name's Josh. You can call me JaWoodle, and welcome back to 7 Days to Die in Alpha 18, where we are back in JaWoodle Part 2 for a groundbreaking announcement. We finally have barbed wire back. It got taken away from us with the new update, but now with some tinkering, you can still get all the wonderful effects of the barbed wire that we had in Alpha 17 with the new rubbish version of barbed wire in Alpha 18. We can make it work the way we want it to. We can make it slow down the zombies and be completely indestructible. So it's all very exciting. I've been tinkering with this idea for a little while to try and get it to work out for me, and I finally stumbled across a way to make it work. So I've got one way in mind that definitely works. I've got a couple of others I want to test, because after all, this is a JaWoodle Park episode, so we have to test some things and see what's going to be the best option to do it with. But before I head out into the world and build something and get something testing, as always, I need to head into the Hall of Legends to thank a group of superstars, excuse me, for making all of this possible. I've been locked out of my own hall. Okay, through the door. Okay, there we go. Don't know why my doors are broken, but I'll deal with that a little bit later. The electrical system must have shorted out or something, which is weird given all the lights are still on. But we are here today to say thank you to 3 more legends, and those guys being Danny F, Michelle A, and Gary G. Nice, Gary. So thank you, you 3, and everyone else, both in the hall and in the tower, for all of your wonderful support and making JaWoodle a thing that can actually still happen despite all the hiccups and road bumps and all the other things we've had to come across in the last little while. Okay, that done. Let's go find somewhere. We've got some nice flat ground down here just begging for it, just waiting for it. Let's build something up. Let's put some barbed wire down and let's see what we can do to get it to run the way that suits us best. Let's see if we can make some indestructible barbed wire. I just kind of had the thought that maybe before I go and explore the new options for barbed wire, I should quickly show you guys, for those of you who maybe don't know what we had in the Alpha 17, show you guys what was so good about barbed wire back then. And the best thing about it was so simple, so cheap, and so effective at slowing zombies down during a horde night, so you had more time to line up your shots, kill them, get your XP, and generally just fight off the horde without them running around and running amok and causing issues, doing all sorts of things that you couldn't quite control because they were just way too fast. So the barbed wire that I'm referring to that you can't get anymore is this one here. You can spawn it in via the creative menu like I am now, but that no longer exists in your normal crafting menu. That is now gone the way of, or everything else has disappeared over the journey. You now can no longer get it. You can only get barbed wire fence. Like if I go into here and type in barbed wire, the barbed wire mod, which you can get the schematic for, which people seem to confuse that with this barbed wire. People say, no, you can get a schematic. You can learn how to make barbed wire. You can't. That one is gone. That's only the barbed wire mod that you can get a schematic for now, which you can see, even if I could craft that, it would show up here with a little lock next to it like that one does. Barbed wire fence is now the only one that you can craft. And that is a big shame, because this simple, like, thin barbed wire, you could just bang down your corridor or your base or whatever you wanted. You could put it down like this, and that whole block, you can see like the outline, the white outline of the block that is being affected. That entire block has the same slowdown effect. Look, you can see here, I'm trying to run through the block that the barbed wire is taking. I'm going super slow. If I take a step to the left and then I jump to the right. I'll come over here, and I'll move much, much faster. So you get the whole effect of the barbed wire without actually touching the barbed wire. And then you could like get some extra super duper protection and just bang some poles up on the top here. And if you did it like this, the zombies would run in here, they would never actually touch the barbed wire, and they would still get the slowdown effect, and it would be indestructible and super effective. That's what was taken away from us by the devs coming to Alpha 18. They nerfed our delicious barbed wire and made everything just a little bit harder, that little bit less fun. But now we've got that out of the way. Now we can show you guys why it was so good. Now we can move on to the new one, the shitty one, this atrocious behemoth here that doesn't even do the job we want it to do. We can show you how we can get this to work the same as that, despite being completely different. I am aware, by the way, that I sung the words of Rocky Horror backwards there, but I couldn't say a step to the left and then a step to the right. It had to be a step and a jump. I just got the directions all turned around for the sake of continuity. Alright, what are we going to do here? Let's just go out here, probably just a nice little space across. Let's get ourselves some concrete. I'm going to have to do that one, do I? I can just get my paintbrush here, right over here, grab some of this, copy block. Oh, it's all stainless steel anyway. Alright, whatever. Stainless steel it's going to be. Let's just build ourselves, not a normal killing corridor like this, not something with like the pylons and the things that I normally build. You can see the design of these things are usually pretty similar. They all kind of work in the same kind of way. Well, let's build something a little bit different to that, because I think with this one, it's going to have to be a more solid design. So not up in the air, but like on the ground for some extra support. And we can build a trench around it to get the zombies to come back. So let's just go right about here. Yep, sure, why not? Boom, boom, boom. I want you in my room. Let's put it like that. We'll start with 2 wide for now. We'll expand on that a little bit later. Let's just get the basic mechanics out of the way, and then we can move on from there. So this is going to be the simple layout. I don't need this over here to be hollow anymore. I'll just quickly fill up the top there. As always, that's where I'm going to stand. This can be the entrance to your base, or a hut, or whatever you want it to be. This is where you go. Same kind of like idea behind the killing corridor design. I'm going to use that because I know how it works. It's reliable, it's easy, and that's not what we're here to test today. We're here to do the barbed wire, which is going to go in this slot here. So I'm going to go down to there, place a little kind of divot along here, I suppose, because that barbed wire does take up a whole slot, but you can't build on top of it or anything like that. So you got to make sure you sink it into the floor. So rather than the zombies running through it, they're running on top of it. That's how it works at the moment. So I can just place all the barbed wire, if I could talk properly, all the way along here, and we should be good. You fill up the trench like you fill up your snack with some delicious caramelized onion before you bam your tam sauce all over the top of it. I'll put those ones in a different direction, which is kind of annoying, and now I've broken the wrong ones. There we go. Make sure it all lines up. Symmetricality and aesthetics always matter. Not that you're going to be able to see this anyway. So the general idea here is, I mean, sure, idea here is that sure you could like jump down there and run through it, but that would destroy all of the spikes. So what we're going to do is find a way to keep the zombies on top of the spikes without actually falling into them and getting that delicious slowdown effect without having to come out here and remake all of the barbed wire. Because having to like, you know, refurb and repair and replenish something that's like consumable like the barbed wire, that's just annoying. That increases the amount of time you have to work on your horde base, because you got to go out for like the next week and get more materials to try and fix it all up. Makes it a bit more difficult, makes it a bit less fun. At least from my point of view, I like just building a base and then just like watching it, oh, that's the wrong block, watching it do its thing without too much extra work on my part, because I am bloody lazy. I can't be bothered doing that kind of nonsense. I just want it to work once and work well, pretty much forever, with a little bit of upkeep here and there. So that's what we're going to need. We've got the trench on the either side to keep the zombies in where we want them. We've got the barbed wire on the ground. That's kind of like the fundamental building blocks of this. Now we have to start adding some things. There we go. I've got my wedge tip drop going on there. That's actually 6 wide just because I wanted that extra space to get the nice little like rounded curves on there rather than just like going straight into the wall. Give it some extra little character, some extra aesthetics by having it look more like a trough rather than just like a slot, I suppose. But now that I've got that, we need to move on to the actual mechanism for slowing down the zombies. Now I've already got it in my hotbar, so you eagle-eyed people out there probably already know what's going to happen here. But following on from a bunch of other builds where I've been doing lately involving the garage doors, like this one here, there's lots of different ways you can do it, lots of different things you can use to do this with, but I'm going to use that to make this work for me. So rather than before where I normally go with the powered garage doors, I mean, they're pretty expensive, but they're really good, and for convenience sake, you can turn them on and off with the switch. Not so important here, because you don't necessarily need to be turning on and off all the time. That convenience factor doesn't really come into it, so instead, I'm just using the normal rolling garage door, which is actually considerably cheaper to make than the powered one. If you go in here, to make this bad boy, 94 steel springs, mechanical parts, electrical, but this one only takes, it doesn't have the electrical parts, which is a little bit more helpful. Still 90 forged iron though, as opposed to forged steel, so much cheaper on that front, because forged iron is super plentiful, and you don't need to find the crucible and that kind of stuff to make iron like you do with the steel. So you can make this one much easier than you would the automatic door like that, like that one. Right, so that's what we're going to use, and to get this to work for us properly, how are we going to do this actually? We're going to go down to here and go like across there for now, all the way across like that. I think it's only 3 high from memory. And we're going to bang the door just in like that. Yep, that goes the right way. And you'll see that it sits right and like neatly right on top of those barbed wires. So you can't actually see the barbed wire through it at all. But if I get out of God mode and I try and run across this, you'll notice that I go very slowly. So I'm getting all the effects of the barbed wire without actually being in or on or damaging the barbed wire. Now, of course, you could use the power doors if you really particularly wanted to. I wouldn't personally for this one because they're so expensive and like the benefit of the powered mechanism doesn't come into play at all. So that's the mechanism we're going to be using. You get your garage doors, bang them up on top of the barbed wire. They stay all nice and protected. The zombies get nice and slowed down. Got plenty of time to shoot them in their stupid faces, and then they drop down here and keep you safe. So basically the same mechanism that the Alpha 17 killing corridor worked on, but in Alpha 18, even with all of the artificial hurdles the fun pimps placed on us, you really laid down the challenge, you laid down the gauntlet, you are asking for me to break a game, and here we are breaking the game. Bang a second door just in like that. Now, I mean, of course, this is pretty ugly. We don't want to have a giant gaping a hole in the side of our base over here, but look at that, nice and slow. You can see the difference in pace between me as I turn my flying off, but still got so my stand doesn't go down. Look, I'm running at a nice rate of knots, get up here, and slow down to like quarter speed. So much slower than what it is without. As soon as we get to the other side, they'll come out here, and they'll drop down, and they'll start it all over again. Good. So everything is there in place and working. What I do want to do though is dig a quick little trench just underneath here. Not for any reason. I mean, we're not testing the trench part of this, but I just want them to not break down any of the towers while I'm testing this stuff because I want it all to work nice and easily. There's a screamer over there. I'd love to lure you over to the insta screamer killer over there. Man, like we're watching that door pop up and screamers' heads explode and then it just drop down again after the deed is done. It is super satisfying. Almost as satisfying as sending screamers doing front flips through the desert. Oh, that's good. Alright, let's get the Treg dunk. That was almost words. What I want to do here as well, before I dig the trench, is I want to get myself some sheets. Because you can actually use these pretty versatilely, that's almost a word, to kind of cover up any sort of like ugliness you got going on here. So you can kind of just cover it up. It looks like it's all part of the wall. So you can hide the garage doors when they're down behind something and not have this big ugly gash in the side of your thing. So that's what I'm going to do around here. Dig the trench. So we can send some zombies through and see just how slow they can go. Look at that. You'd never even know that that wall is basically hollow. I mean, sure, it's not as strong as the normal blocks because it's only just a thin sheet of metal and it's only made of iron as well. I think the strongest sheet you can get is metal rivet sheet, I think it is. I can't see where it says. It probably says in there somewhere. Hit points 2500 as opposed to 1000 I'm using now. That's the strongest one you can get, but I don't know, I just didn't get it. It doesn't really matter too much. And they're going to try and break down that because there's no way for them to get up to you by going through the internal workings of the corridor. So there's no need to worry about that. You're just putting that down purely for aesthetics, so it actually looks like a corridor should. But with that one down, and I didn't dig the trench yet, but that's okay. Let's go over here. Let's get ourselves some cheerleaders. Now, cheerleader ferals are normally really fast. Like they're look at them. They move at quite a rate of knots. They are not to be messed with at all. But as soon as they get up to there, look how slow they go. Look at that. They're moving so slowly. That may even be slower than what it was with the old barbed wire sheets. In fact, I could get scientific and get out a stopwatch and time how long it takes them to run 10 blocks. But like just kind of eyeballing that, that looks like they're moving much slower than they used to on the old barbed wire. Because look how much time you'd have to line up headshots there. That's quite a lot of time. And the bonus there is that the barbed wire underneath is not only protected from these idiots doing shit. Stop beating on shit. I know you want to beat on stuff. You want to beat on me, but you can't do it as you're getting angry. But just calm your titties for like 2 seconds. but the barbed wire under here is protected not only from them. You had to have the poles on the old ones to stop the zombies running into it, but the problem there was a cop blowing up would destroy all your barbed wire, and now it demolishes as well. That's also going to be a massive problem. But a cop, in fact, let's just test that, shall we? Let's get a cop, fat cop. Let's put you right in the middle here, and let's cause you some pretty serious damage to see if I can get you to actually blow up for me. Here we go. Grab that. Shoot. No, that didn't work for me at all. All right, let's do it the hard way then. Come over here. Let's just put a couple of rounds into Tubby's booty over here. I killed him. I accidentally killed him. I didn't want to kill him. God damn it. I put the shotgun away. Let's find something else. Let's just get enough damage into him so he explodes and see how it actually goes. See how these doors set up to a cop exploding. Oh, there we go. He's got the heartbeat going. He's going to explode. What's going to happen? There we go. Boom. Killed a couple of shells, which is good. He's turned into a bloody lump. What about the barbed wire underneath? Oh, it's all gone. It is all gone. That is a damn shame. I was really hoping that would protect against it, but also not that bad. Like repairs-wise, instead of having to run down the corridor and like trying to figure it all out, you just open up the door, see what's going on underneath, and sure enough, it's all cooked. Can I get rid of that? No, I can't. Okay, let's go like this. Kill all. Kill all. My bloody stump won't go away. His stupid bloody cop hat is still sitting there. But yeah, you can just open it up, see what's happening underneath, and then repair the ones you need to. So even though the slowdown effect will go away if a cop explodes, you should probably try and avoid that if you can. At least it's relatively easy to fix it up once it's done. So now that we have the proof of concept, let's get rid of the doors and see if there's another way we can do it that's going to give us the same results. Because look, I will admit, the garage doors are relatively expensive items. I mean, you're not going to have that for day 7 horde, are you? Not like the old barbed wire that costs like 25 iron or whatever it was to make a piece of barbed wire to slow them down. Those doors are pretty prohibitively expensive. As it probably should be. You're probably going to be able to do that. I mean, even though you're going to need 2 of them, that's what, 184 iron, I think it is, which is quite a lot. So maybe like day 21, you might be able to have that done by, or maybe day 14 if you're on a really particularly good playthrough. But there's got to be, hopefully, another way to get the same kind of effect without having to resort to such an expensive piece of technology. And given I already have the iron sheets on me, let's give that a crack. Because after all, they are the thinnest block you can possibly get. It's like basically an A4 piece of paper, but in metal form, just to kind of cover everything up. So let's put a line of these all the way down across here and see if that will slow me down. Let's go down here and see if we can run. Oh, nah, okay. So it doesn't, interesting. I was really hoping like the effect of the barbed wire would kind of reach through the sheet, but alas, it doesn't seem to be the case at all. The barbed wire still slows me down. Yeah, so if I'm like right on the edge of it, the barbed wire slows me down, which I mean, I could probably, actually maybe not. Oh, maybe if I get like a path through the center and then get like some bumpers like in bowling on the sides here, I can kind of push them in the middle and get them to run straight and narrow down the guts. I don't know, but the only way to find out, that's to give it a quick little test. But yeah, my idea for the sheet totally did not work. That is a damn shame. So this is kind of interesting. With a pole over the barbed wire, if you get it right on the nips and go right down the guts of it, then you can run at full speed, no whackers. But if you get off just that little bit, like over here, so look, it slows you down, but you can't run full speed anymore. So if you're off just by a bee's dick, then you're gonna get that slowdown mechanism. You've got to have the balance of one of those tight roping walking elephants in the circus. I mean, the comparison to an elephant, I understand. Tightrope walking, I do not have the coordination to do that whatsoever. But that would seem like a really good thing. However, if you walk on the like the block side of the pole, then you do not get the same effect. So it's only when you're in the space directly above barbed wire with nothing in between. So just like with all the like how it used to work with the old Alpha 17 barbed wire, where even though like it's only a small part of the block, it's actually affecting that whole one by one, like the volume of that block. I think it's the same here. So these poles are taking up that, I'll get rid of them so you can actually see it properly. So that's taking up that whole area. So if I'm running through that block, I do not get that slowdown effect. But if I'm running through this block, because there's nothing between the barbed wire and me, I do get the slowdown effect, which makes sense why the garage door works, because when it's up like that, the actual block placement is over to the side. So that's where all like the pathing and the physics calculations are taking place, off over the side underneath the wall. But up here doesn't actually count as part of the block. So the game thinks you are walking in the barbed wire space despite being kept above the barbed wire by the garage doors. Oh, we can even see it there. That was a much better example. Look at that. Okay, so I'll get rid of a couple of these. I'll try and make that jump, but I'll slow down, and I don't think I'll be able to make it. Huh? Yeah, see, you can see you kind of slow... Oh, shit, no, that was the wrong way to do it. You can see you slow down right as you go over the top of the barbed wire. Yeah, it's that little kind of glitch, little like hiccup as you're going over. When you're all the way up the top, it counts as being up on these blocks and no issues at all. But when you're just a little bit above it, you still get that slow down. Oh, it's a bit of a weight of evidence now leaning towards my brand new theory that I just came up with then, but all the supporting stuff is leaning towards it, that as long as there's nothing above the barbed wire, then whatever's there will get that slow down effect. I know how I can test it though. Let's get ourselves some hatches and let's place a couple of those down. Now the issue here is going to be that I'm still placing a block above the barbed wire, but what I'm doing here, I'm looking for negative results. I'm going to put the hatches down, because then when I put them up like this, no, actually that's the wrong way, I don't want to do that. I want to stick them on the wall, so when I put the hatch down like that, despite the actual block being somewhere else, if that still works as a slowdown, then my theory is kind of out the window. But hopefully it won't work, which is weird to say. I'm hoping something doesn't work, and I actually get some clear results, because once we know how it thinks, then we can move on with our the rest of our builds. I'm only going to do the one side. I don't need to do both sides, because that's just extra work for no real reason. I get the results I need from here. I really don't think this is going to work, because that frame is taking up that volume above the barbed wire. So I walk right on the edge, yeah, it'll probably slow me down. But if I walk right in the middle, yeah, now look, there's no issues there at all. And in fact, if I get a couple of Chelseas just to confirm this for me, no, that's cheddar. Oh, cheese. Cheese is delicious. I have cheese on the brain, but not now, buddy. We need to kill some zombies before we go get some sharp ched and bang it onto a biscuit. All right, there we go. Get your AI turned back on. Yep, you still see it as a path. That's good. Now, you should hopefully take the hatches. Yep, and there's no slowdown there at all. Alright, well, that kind of proves the theory then. It's almost proven the theory. It's more evidence towards my theory that that's how the game thinks and acts and calculates the pathing and the effects of the blocks. Okay, that's good. Extra information is always good. We can always use that to kind of build the body of evidence as to how we should be building this stuff. I'm looking through all of the different doors that are in the game, and I really think the garage door is going to be the only one that's going to do it, because it moves into a position where it doesn't actually take up the block. Like, all the rest of these doors are in that same volume, but they just change their position within that block, whereas the garage door moves across to somewhere that the game thinks it's actually not. And that's pretty unique in terms of the game. So the garage doors might be the only way to get this to work. And look, I know this is cheesing the AI, and people don't like doing that. I say it all the time, play the game how you find it most fun. No one's forcing you to build these kind of bases. No one's making you do that. If you want to go like dig yourself a hole and point a shotgun at the sky and blow away the crotch of any zombie that walks over the top of your entrance, go do it. Go do whatever you think is the most fun way to play. That's how all games should be played. But if you want to have the same kind of stuff you had in Alpha 17, that's what I'm here to try and figure out how to do. Because losing that barbed wire not only upset me, but upset a lot of other people as well. So yeah, I think the garage door is going to be the only way to effectively do that. Now, I know making this video is going to mean the fun people are going to be aware of that, and who knows? Maybe they'll go heavy-handed and take the sledgehammer approach and just remove the garage doors from the next patch, which would be very upsetting because the garage doors are freaking awesome and a great addition to the game. So please don't do that. I'd be very upset if that's the way it happens. But look, if you challenge me to try and fix break your fix for it, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna break your fix for it. But I think if I put those garage doors back, I think we can safely say that is as good as it's gonna get. So I tested the garage doors over the barbed wire for zombies, so I know that works. What I haven't tested are all the animals: zombie bears, zombie dogs, coyotes, dire wolves, bears, the whole kit and caboodle. Even a pig in here somewhere as well, I think. Can you guys move? There he is. Even old mate Piggly Winks, because he is a bastard and he's not to... look, I'd rather fight a goddamn zombie bear than fight Piggly Winks. He is not to be trifled with. He is a big ball of bacon that will, bash in your butt. I'm trying to think of all the words I can think of that start with B. Okay, let's sit up here. Let's turn off my flying. Let's turn on the AI, get all their attention. Yep, you guys are going to go that way. Shoot Piggly Winks so he gets mad at me too. Alright, here they go. They're all coming for me. Please go up into the corridor. You're getting slowed down. Looks like you are. Piggly Winks has given up already. That's very unlike you, Piggly Winks. Normally, yep, you don't stop until you've buried your tusks well into my belly button. Dire Wolf has gone down. That's good. good. There's a mountain lion coming for me. That's gone down too. But look how slow they're all moving. That's the important part. Yep, the zombie bear goes down to slot 2. They all go down. So everything that comes through there, people, PvP enemies, animals, zombies, whatever you want, they all go down the slot. They all get slowed down on the garage doors over the barbed wire. Easy as you like. Alright, I reckon that's pretty good. I can now just like murder the rest of you guys because I can't be bothered dealing with you all. There we go, kill everyone. The slippery snake is slithering along. Not anymore. There's a level up, which is always kind of nice. Alright. Oh, there's a zombie bear left over. That's pretty unequivocally awesome. I reckon that's going to be as good as we're going to be able to get. That is like the pinnacle of what you can do there. Sure, it's going to take you a while to get to that point, but like if it were me and I was building like my main base, like not like a little base I was just kind of temporarily living in for the first couple of hordes. If I was building my main base, I would be saving all my forged iron to make myself a couple of those bad boys because they're not actually that expensive, all things considered. What, 36 springs, 72 mechanical parts, and 60 electrical parts. Oh, wait, that's the powered one. What's that? 24 springs, 30 mechanical parts, and 180 forged iron. Not that expensive, all things considered. You do need a perk for it, which is, well, one, advanced engineering. That's just to get the table, I'm pretty sure. Once you figure out that, in fact, let's give myself, just to make sure, let's give myself a workbench schematic. Let's learn that one. There we go. Can I make it now? Nope, still have to buy it. Oh, able to forge iron. Okay, can I get a schematic for forged iron? Can I do that without perking into it? That's what I want to know. Nah, you don't need to. So as long as you have access to a working workbench, you can make yourself those garage doors without any sort of issues. I mean, those ones, you're going to need a higher level to get the powered ones, but that's fine. That's definitely a later game stage perk thing. No worries to worry about there. But the normal garage doors, the wooden ones, well, they look wooden, but they're made out of iron. Those ones, that's the go, and that's how you're going to get it to work the best way you possibly can. So there you go. There is a way to get your Alpha 17-esque barbed wire back. I mean, sure, you could go and modify the XMLs and just like put it back in the game if you want to. As I said, you play the game how you want to. That would be the easiest way to do it. But I know if I do that, people get rid of massive uproar if I start modifying XMLs. I have to show you guys how to do it using just the bog stock standard vanilla game. And there you have it. So I'll have to come back and break whatever the next fix they're going to put out to try and stop me whatever Alpha 18 or 19 or whatever they bring out. Eventually they're gonna like break all the things that I find fun, but I'll keep trying to break it until I can break it no more. So I'll have to come back and do that in another episode of 7 Days to Die, because this episode is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to all the patrons of Patreon who made this episode possible. If you liked, smash the like button down below, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter. If I don't talk to you there first, I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.